Hi, this is Kulu Or and welcome to the sixth installment of the video tutorial series for WhiteCap, the audio visualizer by Sound Spectrum. Initially I thought this would be a 5-part series, but I'm adding this sixth part for people who want to dive in deeper. Because the program is implemented in Python, that means that you can actually look at the code and modify it if you need. Python is an interpretive language, not a compiled language, so it's working with text files that you can read and you can modify if you like. The main file that you'll be wanting to look at is the engine file. You will find it under the installation directory of the program. For me that was CX86 program files, and Sound Spectrum is the name of the company, WhiteCap, and there is the library directory there, and you have the SSEngine file. As you can see, I've made copies of it. I strongly encourage you to do that if you're going to modify it so that you have something to fall back on if something goes wrong. So I double click it and it is opening in my Python editor. The first 750 or so lines of code are more internal engine workings, so you don't have to mess with that. But here on line 750 you get the key bindings, which is the beginning of the functionality that you can start messing with. Key bindings are in fact the hotkeys that are used in the program. For example, you can see that if you recall, the writing and reading of scripts, the Shift R with the letter and Shift W to write the script, these are defined here. You can see self.bind key W with Shift, that's write script on next key, and with R it's run script on next key. Now I, for example, modified the file and removed the need for the Shift key. So for me now, I just press R and the letter of the script, and the script is run. I did that because I use external software to inject key presses to the WhiteCap program, and it was problematic with the Shift. It didn't inject the Shift appropriately and it didn't work. So I removed the Shift and now it works. Now you don't have to master Python in order to mess with this file. It helps, but you can see it's pretty self-explanatory. For example, if you remember the activate theme, I found that just by reading the file and finding it about here. I saw this method here, activate theme. Now you can disregard the self and just see that it's got one input parameter, which is the name of the theme. There are other functions that I found like that, and I encourage you to explore more. For example, if you browse a little down, you can see set console visible and set console mode. That's the feedback, the printed feedback. If you remember the print method that prints text to the console, sometimes you want to suppress text printed to the console, so you can set the console to be invisible. You have run script methods that enable you to run other scripts from within scripts. You have, if you remember, the slideshows. You remember that we activated the slideshows from the preferences file. But if you want, you can also toggle slideshow, or you can set slideshow enabled. And if you read the syntax of the command, disregard the self. The last parameter is you can let it default to false, but you have here the config type name and is enabled. meaning the config type name could be the name of the slideshow, color scheme or whatever, or it could be a star, an asterisk, meaning that all the slideshows can be or either enabled, on, or disabled, off, so that you can enable or disable them from within scripts. This may sound like Chinese at the moment, but trust me, it's not that difficult, and you just have to go through a process of trial and error. Just try to modify these functions, these methods, use them through scripts, and see what it does. It just works. Another example is the next audio source. If you remember, we had in the preferences file, let's open it. It's user, app data, roaming, sound spectrum, WhiteCap. In the preferences file, we had here the audio input source. And in my shows, for example, I need sometimes to take the audio and render it coming from the microphone, sometimes from the sound card, and it's impossible to set this preference value from within the script using setPref because it's a global parameter. So for that, we have here the next audio source. I can look at the audio sources list, and cycle through them with next audio source from within the script. I can call this function, this method, from within the script. In short, I encourage you to explore this Python SSEngine.py file and see what you can do with it. Of course, you have to back it up before you mess with it. Okay, good luck, and I think you have enough tools now to start trying to automate and modify WhiteCap using categories, themes, scripts, user presets, and the preferences file, and eventually modifying the SSEngine. Good luck, and bye.